Hey everybody, welcome to Business, Wine and Cheese. Today we have Matthew Boyd from Vollie, a long-time colleague and friend of ours. Very excited to talk about what he's doing in the social enterprise space. Stick around and let us know what you think. Hey everyone, welcome to Business, Wine and Cheese.
Welcome.
I'm Theo.
I'm Christian.
And this is Matthew Boyd from Vollie. Thanks for coming, mate.
Pleasure. Yep. Good to be here.
Absolutely. We've had the pleasure of knowing each other for quite a while.
Quite a few years.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The stag from Yarra Valley today, I picked it because it was $23 and I like, 23 is my favourite number. I do like Pinots from the Yarra Valley as well. I'm not sure I've tried this one before, but we'll give it a go. And some good Australian cheddar in the cheese department today. But back to the important stuff, mate. So usually we like to start with the origin story.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers,
guys.
Thanks for having me on.
So personally, a bit of background, and then professionally.
Yeah, sure. Well, it's interesting having this conversation with you both because you were kind of there in my past roles.
Yeah.
I wasn't really fulfilled in what I was doing. I was looking for more purpose in my life, and while in this job, I started to volunteer, and I started by seeing this promotional segment on TV around people taking their dogs to go to the Lort Smith, to the Royal Children's Hospital through the Lort Smith Animal Hospital.
Right. Okay.
And
I've seen that.
and I thought, well, I've got 2 dogs, and I'd love to do that and go and meet kids and try to brighten up their day. And so I did it, and it was very confronting and very emotional. Just the experience of seeing how desperately sad the parents were, and just how much they were trying to will their kids through that incredibly difficult experience.
Oh, mate.
Kids who may never leave that hospital, and it's just unbelievable. They're children, and they might not ever get the chance at a life, and it was really, really full on for me. And I suddenly realised I wanted to be at the forefront of working with great organisations, not-for-profits, and I then became this serial volunteer, still in full-time work, still seeing you guys regularly.
Yeah.
And
was there anything, sorry to cut you off,
no,
was there
fine.
Anything prior to that, obviously from the UK, anything from that sort of part of your origin story around, your personal, like previous to when we knew you?
Yeah.
Good for us to know as well.
Yeah.
That sort of brought you, drew you towards that.
I've been asked that question before, and I think the best and the quickest answer is it comes from my mum.
Okay.
So my mum was a police officer until she was involved in a riot and got very badly injured and couldn't continue in the police force.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Then she was going to an old people's home, an elderly facility, and helping them, and then she worked at the local school, and so my mum's got a real giving nature, and I've always been told I'm my mother's son.
Okay.
So I think it came from that.
Yeah.
And I studied marketing, and I love marketing. I fell in love with advertising. I fell in love with the creativity of it, and it was always about me getting qualified and then going into ad agencies and working within the marketing space, which I did for a number of years, and I was doing when we were all working together.
That's right.
But I wanted more purpose from my life. I mean, it's all about the results. When you're running a marketing campaign and you're trying to drive sales or brand awareness or whatever it is, and I wanted to be doing that and for it to be impacting lives, not just helping a car company sell more units or helping somebody at the top make more money. Does nothing for me. Doesn't get me jumping out of bed.
Or as many big ad agencies do make the client look at the numbers that don't matter while they're actually not generating business results, taking their money.
Oh yeah.
You're
The impressions. We got 75 million impressions. You're like, wow, that's amazing considering there's only just over 20 million people in Australia. How did we do that?
Exactly.
Yeah. So those sorts of KPIs, and I fell out of love with marketing a little bit because of it. But then, having recently read Seth Godin's book, This Is Marketing, I actually listened to it on Audible. he talks about the love and hate relationship with marketing and how, it's that value exchange at the end of the day, right? So you're marketing a product or service and you are trying to provide somebody with value in exchange. They typically pay for it.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that value exchange was quite equal with some of the other roles that I was in.
Sure. Yeah.
Whereas, helping various different charity organizations to build their brand and attract more volunteers or attract more donors. So that really appealed to me. So I went on this journey just working with countless not-for-profit organizations, like getting stuck in, like shoveling crap at an animal sanctuary and working with mental health organizations and working with different Indigenous community organizations. And I was exhausting myself, and I was coming into work every Monday, and a lot of our colleagues were saying to me, they'd see me post on social, and they would say, "I saw you volunteered. I want to get involved." Yeah. And it happened week after week after week, until I realised there's something here. I looked at the current volunteering stats in Australia. It sits at 19%. It should be so much higher. Today's generation want to change the world more than any generation before. Why aren't they volunteering? They don't know how to get started. They have this perceived lack of time as well. So it was that lived experience, then looking just out of curiosity at the research of what's going on. And then I thought, I could build something here.
I think
I remember you, because we were working very closely at that time. I remember you telling me, I've got this idea.
I remember that conversation.
I remember you walking in to say bye, and I was completely shocked. And you said, "I'm working on something. It's confidential, but you'll know about it pretty soon." And it was like,
I knew about it.
Okay,
sorry, we're like best friends.
I go on.
Cat's out of the bag.
Look, I love that. I love that, and obviously we're Salesforce partners, and they've got the 1% initiative where they have 3 pillars which they donate to. I can only remember 2, so that's very bad of me, but we're going to get involved in it ourselves on the 1% of time, which I want to talk to you about. And also the 1% of it. I can't remember if it's profit or equity or whatever. It was something monetary. But I think the
it's
time piece.
Profit.
I think so. Yep. I can't remember for the life of me. We'll write it on the comments underneath the videos that we post, but we think that we can contribute on those sides, and we can definitely.
Salesforce are amazing as well. Like I've spoken to hundreds of big businesses in Australia, and Salesforce are. I can count the absolute best of them on one hand. I can count even those that do social impact well on 2 hands. I don't need more than 2 hands for that. Salesforce are right up there. They are phenomenal at what they do.
So how did you manage your transition? Obviously, this was, like you said, you've been doing it for a while. You and your now wife are doing it together, which is amazing. But how did you guys around, when you're communicating, you're obviously planning this for quite a while, and it's we know how taxing it can be mentally, financially, relationships, everything, right? So how did you sort of plan for that transition across?
Well, the last 6 months in the previous role, out of hours and at the weekends, I was doing a lot of research. And I always say this whenever anyone gives me a microphone and I get the chance to speak to some people. And sometimes they're experienced, sometimes they're like a week or so ago, like still in university, want to start their own businesses, ready to go. And I always say, stop and research the market and truly understand if there's a market fit, if there's customers out there, will they pay for your product or service? Like really do some thorough research, which I did. And
at the same time, you think you have to find something that you love.
I think,
with all that
there's got to be a mix between the two.
I think that comes first. So you find that passion, you understand, because I've had 100 different business ideas before this, and after a week, if I'm still not excited about them.
The funny thing about it is that when we had that conversation at that time, you were really happy about it. Like I noticed, I was like, you were like really excited about it. It's very rare for people to say, I'm doing this, but actually be genuinely happy about it. It's more like, yes, I'm going to do this. I have to do this. It's I have to. You weren't like, I have to, because I really want to do this.
And it sounded like it was a educated guess. That probably would give you a little bit more happiness knowing that there's pardon me, there's a space there, instead of just a blind excitement.
Yeah, I think passion's been the biggest thing that's driven me through, up to this point, like 3.5 years into the journey, I'm still passionate because I can see the change that it can create in the world. And so from that first conversation to now, I still carry that. Yeah. And there's a lot I've learned, and there's been a lot of barriers between then and now. But so going back to what we were saying, a lot of research, truly understood there was an opportunity. And whenever you're in that position, you feel like you've got something so special and you're so scared someone's going to steal it as well. Whenever you speak to someone about it, you're getting them to sign confidentialities and NDA. You feel like you've got, the winning lottery tickets for next week. Yeah. And
how do you deal with that? It's hard, isn't it?
It's really hard. Yeah, I mean, you look back and you just think I was so naive. When I spoke to certain people, and I was having a conversation with someone, and it wasn't really important to the business moving forward, but got him to sign an NDA. How did I deal with it? I acted on it, but I tried to proceed cautiously and not just dive into it, because you can waste a lot of money and waste a lot of time. So I spoke to a few very key people within my network. So, very, very established people in the not-for-profit sector to understand, is it a good idea? And they said yes. And then I wanted to start getting the right people in my corners. So got a good lawyer and got a good accountant, because that's what I needed to get the business established. Before that, I was jumping on GoDaddy, and I was getting all the domains.
Your strengths, right?
Yeah.
You knew what you and Tanya could do. Yeah. And anything else, the key pieces, you sought good help.
Yeah. Which is
don't try and
secret. No, you can't.
Especially a lawyer.
No. Yeah, I actually know a lot of entrepreneurs who've written their own.
Oh yeah. I know
document, Googled it,
that way.
They've never studied law, but they've Google searched something, they've found a template, and they've just reworked it. Yeah. It wouldn't stand up in court
Makes
for a second.
Good about it, though.
Yeah, and I just saved $750.
Yeah, exactly. It cost me $1 million.
Yeah. So they were the initial steps. Finding the initial people. So got the domains, registered the business. So that was secure, because I've always loved the name Vollie. I think it's positive. It's sure.
Absolutely.
Some people don't understand that it's the abbreviation for volunteer, but that worked really well for us.
Oh wow!
There you go.
Oh, well done. You got me.
So a lot of not-for-profit organisations will say we've got our volleys coming out this Saturday, or we're engaging with our web dev volley. So so we've got those registered. Met with a few good people, and then began the journey. Like January 1st, 2016, I got started, got an office, and head down.
So I guess, that's the business side of the preparation, but what about, the types of conversations that you had around runway, and this is going to take a while, and, don't have to tell us how much money you put in or anything like that, but, how did you prepare for that, and how can people sort of learn from the way that you've gone about it?
Well, I've always been very good at saving money.
Okay.
So I had some savings and I knew what it was going to cost. So Volley's a tech business. The biggest investment was going to be in the platform. And I spent a lot of time finding the right people to build it. And I understood that cost. And that cost, it was a significant hit from my savings. Sure. But I was prepared to do it, especially seeing as Tanya and I had turned down a couple of offers previously, because when you're at that really, really early stage, that seed investment, that, the sweat for equity deals that you can get from some of the angel investors, you're so vulnerable.
Oh, yeah.
And you go with the wrong people, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm going to be saving X amount of money, but okay, I'll give away 25, 30, 35% of your business, which is insane. And we had a few offers on the table, and we ultimately turned them down because we listened to this, and this all at once, and took our time with those decisions, and ultimately didn't go for it. Australia is a very young market in terms of investment now, compared to 3.5 years ago. The accelerators and incubators and new funding streams that are opening up, and new organisations that are providing funding at various different stages. It's better. It's still got
more structure to the system. Still got a long way to go.
Still got a long way to go.
Before we jump into the accelerator that you were part of, which I think is a great thing to talk about, I didn't even know it existed, and it's an amazing one. Tell us about Vollie, because we've sort of missed that part.
Skip that part.
Sorry, mate.
No, that's fine. So Vollie is an online volunteering marketplace where people can connect their skills with the needs of not-for-profits, and all opportunities are project-based and remote and can be carried out from anywhere in the world. So we've got web developers building websites, and they could be in bed, they can be on their couch, they can be at their favorite coffee shop. You can complete this work from anywhere in the world. So it's volunteering for today's on-demand workforce. It's volunteering, and a way of volunteering that really fits into this gig economy. Nobody's done it in Asia Pacific, and there is such a need for it, given that low volunteering engagement rate, given that the not-for-profit sector need to innovate more, they need to engage the next generation of volunteer, they need to better embrace technology. So when I was on this journey and I saw all these not-for-profits needing help and these millions of change makers, I thought, well, the most obvious solution is to build a marketplace.
Absolutely.
And so that's what Vollie is.
And speak to what the supply side of the market is wanting. By knowing which way the overall market's going, by sort of online and in terms of gig economy.
So run me through the process. Let's say, because obviously I do.
How does it work from a user
side? Let's say, okay, I've got a bit of time on the weekend, and I would like to dedicate some time to maybe an organisation that might need my skills. So I'll log onto the website.
So you can jump on Vollie. You don't have to register straight away. You put in the skills you have, the causes you care about. Opportunities pop up. If there aren't current opportunities,
select the opportunities.
You select the opportunity. You can apply on the spot. You agree to the terms and conditions of the website.
So essentially a search filter based on the sort of stuff you like, and that'll show you relevant opportunities. Do you have something in your roadmap around a matching technology that would, I don't know if you were across how Career One was working, but it would essentially shoot up jobs via email or even within the platform that says, hey, this has just been posting, you'd be great for it?
And we currently do that. So it's cause and skill tags that attach the skilled individuals to the not-for-profits.
Awesome.
People are notified on a weekly basis of new projects that have gone live. If there aren't opportunities right now, we let you know when there are opportunities. So it's very convenient in that way.
We're building a music agency version of that.
Nice.
We're just finishing that project off now. Anyway, I digress.
Sounds good.
So the accelerator, we were speaking for probably less than a year, where you were sort of trying to work out how to generate more interest, more appointments, going out and speaking with corporates, and obviously not obvious, but I can tell you from the conversations we've had and from me seeing your activity online, this guy hustles at least as hard as us, probably more. He's everywhere, which is amazing, and I always comment.
People say that.
I always comment on it but it's true, right? So he came across this this accelerator through Deacon. And when you told me about it, I said, mate, do it. Absolutely go for it. And so how did you come across it, and how's it? I bet it's been great for your business, but tell us about it.
It's been good. It's so we did it about a year or so ago. My co-founder Tanya went to Deakin University, and so we were eligible for this accelerator.
Right, so it's alumni?
I think it's still exclusively for people who went to Deakin.
Makes sense.
Although that might change. Like MAP has just opened up to everyone, Melbourne Accelerator Program. That was just Melbourne Uni. Now anyone can apply, and I think more unis should start doing that.
Right.
Makes sense.
So
we thought we were too far along. We thought we had it together. We did the accelerator. We were partly right, but also quite wrong. There was a lot of stuff that we just hadn't considered, and they flew over this amazing guy called Adam Davies, who teaches at London Business School. He teaches at Oxford University. He travels all around the world, and he was a lovely guy, but he was really cutthroat just about what has to happen, with your business, what structures you need to have in place. And that was the first week. That was the intensive, and then from that, we connected with a lot of great people through the program. I think one of the biggest things it taught me was about sales and just ensuring that you do have that sustainable revenue stream, and what processes you need to put in place there. So it was good. It was a really positive experience, and they continue to support us.
Just added a few bows to your few strings to your bow.
Yeah, absolutely. And Daisy Mann, who runs it, is incredible. She's like a huge supporter of Vollie. She's always putting us up for stuff. Cool. So it was good. And then you're backed by a university. Like you just...
That's true.
There's no such thing as an overnight success, is there? It's just that incremental growth. And it's like, what was good that happened this month? Well, Deakin University accepted us into the accelerator. So we therefore have the backing of a major university in Australia.
In a very short period, but the build up to that is an incremental.
Yeah. So that was just another really positive things for us.
Yeah, cool. So outside of that piece, what else have you learnt over the last year or two? I know the show's not long enough to go through the whole thing, but you know,
just
what
the key points.
Yeah, the key,
the main ones.
You have to. I mentioned it before, but you have to be driven by a true passion, a honest passion within yourself. Otherwise, you will lose interest at some point. Yeah,
totally.
So the passion gets you. Say I'm everywhere. You know, the passion gets you out of bed at 5. It gets you starting these events, these networking meetups, these whatever else you're doing. And then those two things that you need to keep with you throughout and that you need to remind yourself of is the perseverance and resilience. We are 2.5 years in. We are still in our infancy as a business. You want things to happen quite quickly, but it really does take years. Yeah. It takes a long, long time. So you just got to sustain yourself, make sure you don't burn out. Burnout's real.
Don't judge yourself.
No, park your ego. You know, there's no room for ego in what you do.
You know, but also to that, if you know, we there was this one time where we've got a client on Melbourne Road just down there, and he was saying how the meeting went over a little bit, and he's like power walking back to the office, and he's like, I work for myself. What am I doing? What am I doing?
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, and I heard this podcast this morning, and it was like, you know, what's your tip for loneliness in entrepreneurs? You know, how do you sort of combat that? The big point was, you know, don't judge yourselves, and if you're feeling like you need to go and see your friends at 4:30 on a Thursday, just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know that it's sort of like your passion can drive you away from that, and you can sort of have the blinkers on and off you go. But I don't know, I've found that, I mean, I always, when we used to just do music together and we'd be really driven, I'd be the one to say, come on, man, like, let's just
You'll drive me out of my chair to actually do something, because
you know what I mean?
I can get into that mode where I'm just like, work, let's do it, let's go. Yeah.
One of the most dangerous things is when you think, so in a situation like that where, you know, your friends might say, let's go to the driving range, or let's just, you know, take dogs for a walk, whatever it is, have a drink. You think like, what could have I been doing with the hour or those 2 hours?
Yeah.
And I used to be like that. I was like that for the first like couple of years with Vollie, like 2016, 2017. And I only learned it fairly recently, where you try and squeeze as much out of yourself as possible every day, every single week. Because I would do it. You know, I would get up as early as I possibly could, where I knew I would function. I would work until I couldn't read emails anymore. And then you go again, and then you burn out. And I don't know why I didn't realize it at the time. Guess I was in that sort of trying to build it mode.
Yeah.
But you don't look after yourself, and then all of a sudden now it's a slightly different situation for Vollie, or very different really, because it's more what's necessary is not just hustle and progressing and building it. It's helicopter view, strategic thinking, making good decisions every day. Yeah, but in a way where even if you put 4 good hours in and you really get clarity around that new campaign you want to develop, that's a good day.
100%.
Yeah,
completely agree.
Yeah.
Let's dive into marketing a little bit,
but
technology within your business, and also how you're you were talking about it before the camera was on, and I said, why don't we have a camera filming this stuff while we're setting up?
You top me up.
I know, mate, stick around here, you'll get in big trouble.
I have to get your guests drunk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the true questions.
Yeah, exactly. That's when we'll hit you with the big ones. So, what are you doing? Obviously, you're very active out in networks. I love the event you're doing.
Thanks.
I'm doing that for men thing with Omar. So I'd love to come to one of your events, and obviously, I don't know what you guys have spoken about, but I'd love to talk to you
if
about
I can help you with your new event series.
No, absolutely. But what are you doing digitally
Yep. We're still bootstrapped, so it's very small budgets with our marketing, but I think what we do works pretty well. So first of all, we're really strong in search, and we're regularly reviewing our site. We're currently in the process of setting up, so we've bought a load of domains which are relevant to Vollie, which we know those search terms that people are looking for. So we're building microsites, and people are going to go there, then be redirected to the site. It's going to drive some inbound for us. We write a lot of content. We like to think of ourselves as thought leaders. We've got a great relationship with those strategic partners that we think help us to reach our audience. So like Pro Bono Australia, they reach big businesses looking to do good. They reach not-for-profits. They reach change makers. That's really good for us. We also partner with like the Funding Network, and we've partnered with all these other great organizations. We add value by, they might be speaking to a lot of not-for-profits, and we'll say we'll run a free workshop with those not-for-profits. We'll understand the pain points you have. So there's definitely a strong value there, and we reach an audience of 1 million plus people. What else do we do? So socials, just in the last month or so, we've just found the right formula for Vollie. We've tried so many different things. We've tried humor, we've tried like GIFs, so many GIFs in the past. What we're doing now, it's again that thought leadership, and it's topical conversations, stuff around, stuff involving organisations like SeaWorld and animal welfare, or fast fashion brands, and how that impacts third world countries. So we've become that kind of news source. And all of a sudden, we've gone from getting dozens of likes to hundreds of likes and engagements and reactions. So
that's incredible.
We found our sweet spot with social media, and that's it's good. It's completely due to my co-founder Tanya. She's just driven that, and she's amazing. So yeah, I mean, social, we probably throw $30 at it a week at the moment. It's 3 boosts a week, $10, and we're reaching a few hundred people.
And it
content
just goes from there.
Yeah, and then it sort of snowballs, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, we got 385 reactions and 45 shares, and you see like your weekly reach on Facebook has suddenly shot up like 400%.
Those numbers are ridiculous.
It's crazy.
But if you're just boosting as well and not running actual ad campaigns as well off the back,
which we've done in the past, and you just burn a lot of money. So creating content, thought leadership, developing our own free PR. So my co-founder Tanya got featured as one of 6 leading Australians in Virgin Australia's in-flight magazine yesterday, which is amazing.
Well, it's funny now, like, you don't, sorry, PR agencies, if you're watching, you can do it yourself now. Like the world's so small, and LinkedIn, you can find them straight away. You give them good content and they just run with it.
I think it's come about for us because we continue to beat the drum, and again, it comes from that place of passion. We really care about the space we're in and what we're doing. And soon enough, people start to respond. I just posted something today just about our impact to date, and a very senior person at EY has liked it and commented and said, really love what you're doing. And then, another big organisation will respond as well. So if you really are genuine about what you do, and that's what we do. And I said to Tanya yesterday, like, how did Virgin even reach out to you? And she's just like, they just heard about Vollie. They just heard about what we're doing. So
a lot of that's happened with Brie at my wife. Brie at 2.6, I mean, it's not similar to you, but the workplace wellness stuff, it's when it's topical and companies want to get on board, they find it, and especially like that was sort of one of the first to it, like you guys have been, in the innovative space around your industry, and from there it's just like, forget about it. You know what I mean?
The world of business is definitely changing. This purpose beyond profit is becoming bigger and bigger, and it's being driven by the new generations coming through. Gen Y, Gen Z, they're going to account for 55% of the workforce by next year. And what do they want? They don't just want to work somewhere and make a lot of money. We want to be comfortable, but we want that sense of purpose. We want the culture of the business to align with who we are as people. We want to be able to change the world from that position that we hold in that company as well. So wellness, positive mental health, volunteering, it's becoming more and more important to these big businesses. And there's
so technology. What are you doing in your tech stack? We were talking before about the development team you've got going.
So we got a great team, a lean team, a team of 3, senior dev, junior dev, project manager. We've also got someone working on our CMS, which we are looking to move away from. And I'm not going to describe it very well. Okay. How did they describe it? They described it as moving from a high-rise to more of a villa style setup.
Sure.
And maybe developers listening and who've got experience would understand, but essentially it's gonna ensure that the platform flows a lot better.
Sure.
More of the platform is going to be in the cloud. There's going to be like different API, plugins and that sort of thing. But I trust. I can't code. I have the vision of exactly what needs to happen. I will be as patient as I need to be and take my time to go through the process with the developers, and they help us get to where we need to go.
Of course.
So you got the vision of where Vollie will be in the future, and the team's going to deliver it.
Absolutely.
So,
and operationally, what are you using like something like a Slack to communicate? Are you?
Yeah, we use so with the devs we use Jira, Atlassian. We were using Trello for the office team, so like marketing and operations and that. But yeah, Jira's great. Jira's really great for speaking with the devs. We use Toggle for tracking all those hours. Sure. Again, I don't know if Toggle's Atlassian. I forget if that's Atlassian, but
probably half the world is. So.
They're doing well. So yeah, we use that to communicate. The team, like the office team, are on emails. Instant messaging, we typically just use Gmail, instant messaging, so that the threads don't get out of control. We've got like Drive documents with different strategic partners, which we're constantly adding value into. So we've got a new event series launching soon. We've got a new video content series.
Right.
All of which we're all plugging our thoughts and insights into. So
amazing,
works well.
That's good, mate.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah. And then just to finish off, what's the outlook looking for this year and beyond?
This year, we are moving more and more into the corporate space. So we want to work with big businesses on their corporate volunteering programs. Typically, big businesses have low staff engagement rates and they don't track their impact. Vollie's developed the software. We've developed a white labeling solution for our platform, all branded as the business. So big push in the corporate space.
Awesome. And usually they just write checks and off they go.
Yeah, what, the corporates? That'd be nice.
No, to charities.
I see what you mean.
No, not to you.
That would be great. Those days are dead. They're not even dying. They are dead. Nobody believes a novelty-sized check anymore, whether it's worth $10,000 or $1 million. People see it as guilt alleviation. The staff don't buy it. The customers don't buy it. And so you need to do more beyond that. You mean the
impact of it is dead? They're still doing it though.
They still do it, but the outcome that they're looking to achieve from that is that
culture.
Building positive brand awareness externally, building culture internally.
So you're saying it people now see it for what it is, which is they're just ticking a box.
Yeah.
They need to do more than that.
They need to do more.
I completely agree.
And it's about aligning your for-profit and your for-purpose objectives. And so, we're all about that. So we're working with a number of great corporates. A new one signed up yesterday, which is great. So we'll keep building that, and then just keep building the marketplace. Working with more and more not-for-profits. Potentially looking at investment if the right people come along. We're having a few conversations at the moment. There's a few pathways there. But it'd only be right again when your head, your heart, and your gut are all aligned and you feel
aligned as well.
So possibly that, and then we'll go from there. Awesome. When people say what's the ultimate vision for the business, it's to connect anybody's skill set with any non-profit need wherever they are in the world. Right now we're in Australia, got not-for-profits in a few different countries around the world, but we want to just grow to that.
Awesome.
At the right pace.
Cheers to that, mate. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah,
pleasure.
Great to see you again.
Thanks for the wine. It's good wine.
We absolutely. We'll link through to I drink a lot of it, so I should know. We'll link through to the Vollie website in the comments. Whatever platform you're watching this on, please let us know what you thought, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
See you next time.
Cheers.